All right, we are back in the Poker Strategy Team Liquid Star League. This is the first day of the round of 16, the first match, the opening official match of the TSL, and we have Outsider, map number 3, Idra up 2-0. We have Xiaozi as Yellow Zerg at 9, and down at maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock, we have Idra as the Teal Terran.
Yeah, I'm not good with the positioning of those things based off clocks. I use a digital watch, but somewhere over here at the bottom right is going to be Idra.
Yes, it is. Now, Idra, what is he going to open with here? I would not be surprised at all to see an 8 barracks opening. It's a very good opening on this map just because the center of the map is so small. You know, you can really get over there and bunker rush quite easily. And I think he might actually be doing that.
We do see the SCV moving out. Is it going to be a depot or a barracks? I think it could be right. It looks like it is going to be a barracks. Yes, it is.
There it is.
I have a stutter.
Yeah, you do. Or I just maybe just a little bit slow. You know, I hate it, man, when you are sitting there with like 146 minerals and you know everyone's going to watch the game. Your SCV just sits there and you're like, where are my 4 other minerals?
Come on!
Yeah, it is so embarrassing. It's like you send out your first SCV or probe that's going to make a depot, and it just nothing is returning its minerals. You don't know what's going on. You're just sitting there clicking it, looking at it. You're like, am I dumb? Am I bad? How many games do I have to play for this not to happen?
Or you tell that probe to make a nexus, and he spins around a couple times, gets dizzy, and then eventually decides to make the nexus.
Yep.
It can be pretty frustrating. Okay, barracks first, but also note that Xiaozi's going to spot this right away. Now, Xiaozi looks like he's going to go hatchery first.
Yeah, I think that's really the only choice here. Even against the bunker rushes, you know, it's quite safe to do these 8 barracks openings on this map. You can just go back and defend and expand inside your base quite easily and just not worry about any rushes from Zerg. So in that way, in the early game, it's very good for Terran. But once Xiaozi does defend this, if Xiaozi does defend this, you know, he's going to be in good position. He's going to have that base up, and if Idra really committed too many Marines to the attack, then he's going to be behind economically.
Another thing to remember is that the longer this map, the games go on this map becomes so strong for Zerg. But hold that thought, we have a micro moment here. Bunker coming down here. Remember, Idra's micro's been pretty good so far up until now. The drones have to stop the bunker from completing, or at least stop the Marine from getting in there.
It looks like very nice micro so far by Xiaozi, sending all these drones out. They are fast. They are chasing that Marine down. And Idra's going to have to micro back. Look at this. The Marine on the bottom getting pot shots. The 3 SCVs trying to block, trying to get some damage done. And Idra smartly running away. Look at how far away from Xiaozi's base his drones are right now.
Unbelievable micro. Takes out one drone. He could take out a second one here any second. Looks like all these Marines are not going to be as effective, but they remain alive. I think Xiaozi may have overextended himself there.
And, you know, he had to send out a lot of drones. That he did. And his economy has to be hurting. Even though he's only lost a couple drones, you know, this isn't really costing Idra very much. And 2 more drones going down at the last second. Very uncomfortable spot for Xiaozi.
He is actually continuing to go with this. Does cancel the bunker, but he will have 1 SCV move inside the main base and just do some scouting. From here, of course, Idra can easily erect a command center. 8 lings out here for Xiaozi, so Xiaozi has to be aggressive in return with this. Otherwise, he's invested too much money.
That is correct, man. You know, he made those 8 lings. He thought that Idra was going to keep on going all in with it. Idra smartly pulling back, and it looks like Idra is just going to easily block off these lings from doing any damage. You know, just has his Marines at the ramp. These Zerglings, not enough numbers to really force his way up there. And in the meantime, a command center has started.
More drones are on the way here for Xiaozi, but Xiaozi again suffered some pretty severe casualties back there. We don't see the extractor yet, and that's pretty bad when you consider how quickly the Zerg need to get the layer up in order to move into a healthy position for the late game. So far, Idra's strategies worked.
Well, you know, Idra, he knows his strategies well. He's really planned out his matches very smartly. And I think we're just going to see him keep on doing just solid builds on every map. Nothing overly creative, you know?
I don't think he has to right now. I think all he has to do is play by the book, because his initial attack was so incredibly effective. We are going to see that command center move down right when Idra sees that it's probably a safe moment to do that. If we get a shot of the Zerg's base here, the extractor is not even done yet. A few seconds away from finishing. Meanwhile, the Tier 1 tech has already started here for Idra. He's going to have medics, fire bats out momentarily. He can even go apply pressure and force more sunken colonies up here for Xiaozi, and that's going to hurt him even more.
Yeah, but, you know, Xiaozi, he has re-droned. I think that's why his tech is really so late, because he actually has a decent number of drones right now, considering what happened to him in the early game. He's started that third hatchery at the mineral base, so, you know, he's taking the steps he needs to take to fix his economy.
And as we can see here, a few Zerglings outside of Idra's base. He just wants to see, okay, is anybody going to push out? Because I don't want to make sunken colonies until I absolutely have to. We see a few creeps already up. Creep colonies. There's no creeps in this. This isn't Warcraft 3. And the layers only just now started here. Because the layer's so late, we could potentially see a lurker opening.
You know, a lurker opening I wouldn't even, you know, say is bad. Why not open up lurkers? You know, that, I mean, if he does, Idra can get siege tanks and maybe do a really strong push on the natural. But, you know, the lurker opening on this map, maybe it could possibly be a good idea, because, you know, he can go drops with that perhaps. He can, you know, just get a lot of upgrades, maybe some sort of Manzerg style, considering his extra amount of minerals as well.
We see the Medic Marine now moving out. This is called applying pressure. Idra does not expect to win the game with this. He's simply forcing his opponent to spend an income making defenses that then he doesn't really get to use, because, as you can see, the small platoon of Medic Marine are going to turn around in just a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it looks to me like Idra just going to keep on reinforcing this. He's got those 3 barracks really, really fast. He's getting the +1. His expansion is up, and he's just going to keep rallying. And this is going to just basically force Xiaozi into making more and more sunkens just over time. And Xiaozi can't really afford to do that, even with this mineral base. It's going to be very, very painful. And we see Xiaozi is, in fact, getting a spire up at that mineral base.
That's pretty interesting if he's going to go for a spire. Although he does have 2 extractors, so let's say he does get enough sunken colonies, he could maybe go to mutas and then tech to guardians. There's no one right way to play on these maps, so we'll have to wait and see.
Indeed we will. Well, Idra right now, he's getting that factory, and, you know, I think we're just going to see him play pretty standard from here, getting his second gas up, get a couple starports up, because Xiaozi, well, wait a minute, Xiaozi actually, his 4th hatchery is going down at the other mineral base instead of jumping drones to get extra gas.
This is an interesting position. What are your thoughts?
Well, I also see an evolution chamber at the natural going up, and one in the main base, so I think what we're going to see is just a massive, massive amount of units, maybe, you know, mass ling with mutas, something like that.
I think what he can actually do is, it's called tech jumping with Zerg, where you get a bunch of lings with those mutalisks, then you tech right to the hive and get guardians, and then of course you're upgrading +1 attack for melee units and +1 armor for ground units, so then you switch to Ultralisks after that. So what happens is you completely jump over the lurker tech. So my guess is that's what we're going to see here. Now, if a Terran isn't prepared, especially on a map like Outsider, that could really throw him off, but actually, interestingly enough, he's getting ranged attack.
That's right, he is getting ranged attack and the carapace. He has a Hydralisk Den at that 4th, and he has now jumped a drone and taking the double gas at the top left of the map. So Xiaozi is kind of doing everything at once, man. He's getting mutas, upgrades for hydras and lurkers, a bunch of lings. You know, he has 5 bases going to be in a minute here. And Idra, in the meantime, you know, he is just playing a kind of standard normal game. So I think Idra's going to have basically one timing where he has to do a lot of damage.
He has basically one attack, one chance to kill off Xiaozi, because Xiaozi is expanding way more than I would have expected here. So if he doesn't execute the attack perfectly, Idra could be in a world of hurt, but at the same time, I can't emphasize enough how much Xiaozi's trying to get everything at once.
Yeah, man, it's kind of a peculiar strategy, but it is one that if Idra does not understand exactly what's going on and put on the right amount of pressure, it's going to pay huge dividends for Xiaozi. So, you know, I give him props for thinking up something like this. This is not a way that I think we would see Xiaozi play normally against other foreigners.
Well, you can see Xiaozi kind of knows Idra style. Everybody that's played against Idra, even you and me, back when well, we were still on the same team, I suppose. Not CJ, but media. We would, there's a certain play type that you would have, and sometimes people would engineer builds to respond to that. And in this case, it looks like that's what Xiaozi's doing. However, the moment that Idra identifies that that's what's happening, he usually responds pretty quickly. So I think once we see that first science vessel come out, that's when we're going to see him attack, and that's really all we can do is wait for.
Yeah, that's kind of a standard build. And Xiaozi right now flying through the main base with mutas, gets caught by Marines. This is not good, Tasteless. Not good at all.
They're actually trapped in there, and they're going to be chased out, really not doing any damage whatsoever, losing, I believe, 2 mutalisks there.
Yeah, losing the muta is not a good thing to have happen at this point in the game. And something pretty interesting that we are seeing here from Xiaozi, if you take a quick look at his main base, he has his lair and he's getting another hatchery. So he's actually going to just sit on lair and make a ton of units. We have so many Hydras in his natural right now. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Hydra Lurker come out of him here. He already has those 1/1 upgrades. He has a couple Lurkers doing a light contain outside of Hydra's natural, but Idra has his Siege Tank. He is moving up now. And Idra is basically going to have to get this push to work very well. And I don't know if he's going to. I'm actually giving Xiaozi a slight lead right here.
He's got Hydra's speed as well. Remember, the Hive is really late, so you can sometimes go Hydra Lurker with builds like this. It's all about this one push here. Idra has to keep that Science Vessel alive under all circumstances. And then Xiaozi has to win this battle here.
Wow, this battle is very important now. Idra with a nice little split, and he is tearing into Xiaozi's units. And wow, I'm actually really surprised it went that much in Idra's favor. It really looked to me like Xiaozi had a nice sized force. He had very good upgrades right there. But now he is in deep trouble, Tasteless. He has not killed the Siege Tanks at all. Both Siege Tanks still remaining, but a lot more Hydras coming out for Xiaozi.
If he can micro these tanks well, no, doesn't micro that one well. But again, remember, Idra can now reinforce as he's outside of his opponent's base. Xiaozi's going to have to morph some more lurkers here and do it quickly. We see that they're on the way, but I don't know if he's going to get good positioning with those lurkers because there's no option to flank. Idra is now outside of his opponent's base. He could just start killing whatever walks out of there. And if Idra destroys this expansion and then does get to the main, into the heart of that base, this is going to be GG.
Yeah, right now, Idra just about almost 20 supply up on Xiaozi, about 18. But Xiaozi, he has so many resources coming in, he has to be really frustrated here. If he could just, spend all these resources and get some sort of flank on Idra, just kill his army one time, then Xiaozi could easily win this game from there. If that's all he needs to do is just kill the army of Idra. I think what we're going to see here is he's going to wait for these Sunkens to die so they are out of the way, and then just come out of there with his full force and see if he can maybe bust up this army.
This is going to be a pivotal moment in the game here. As you said so well, Artosis. All he has to do is take out this one attack because right now he has so much of the base. Hold that thought. Here comes the attack now. Nice stimming. It doesn't look like the lurkers are quite in good enough position here. The siege tanks can clean up the rest of this. I think he just completely annihilated him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's about the only way you can word that, man. It looks like Xiaozi is dead once again. He is not going to be able to rally any troops to stop this attack. His 2-2 not even going to finish. And it looks to me like Idra is going to take this series 3-0, and Xiaozi just had nothing to say about it.
Alright, we see the tanks and the Medic Marine moving in here. Idra knows he's won the game. We see a lurker egg block here. Nice technique here by Xiaozi, but fortunately, no matter how good this technique is, there's really nothing he can do to recover now, especially not from a player like Idra. Once he gets up that ramp and takes out the main tech units, the Zerg's tech tree is reset, and from there, there's really not a whole lot that the Zerg can do.
That's right, Xiaozi is about to GG it, but do not leave because this is not the only match today. In fact, we have what I think is going to be the most exciting match of the round of 16. We have Draco against Sen coming up for you next. Two of the very best foreigners for a long time, old school Gosus, back from the dead to battle each other in the zombie TSL.
This is going to be awesome, guys. There it is, GG. Great game. Idra moves on to the round of 8.
Well, before we start talking about this next match, let's cover what we just saw there. Xiaozi was destroyed by Idra 3-0. That has been the story of Xiaozi's year. He's lost to Idra in just about every event.
There's really not much that Xiaozi could have done in those games. I definitely don't agree with his strategy in game number 3. It seemed to be a little bit haphazard. He didn't seem to have the army or the bulk there to defend it. But then again, you know, in every single battle we've seen that Idra and Xiaozi have had in the TSL, Idra simply out-controlled his opponent. I mean, his micro is just so much better.
Yes, indeed. His builds, his macro, his micro. You know, Xiaozi made some cool decisions and stuff. Just was not enough this time. But, you know, that's that. Idra's the favorite. Everyone kind of thought he was going to take out poor Xiaozi once again, and he did so. Alright, well, before I talk about the next match, I have a couple announcements to make. The commentary contest, as well as the raffle. So get out your raffle tickets. Lol, there's no raffle tickets. You signed up on a forum. But just get ready, because I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Alright, my nerds out there in the Cyberland watching the TSL, you have waited for this information. Everyone is just rubbing their hands together to see who has won this contest. And, well, let's first go over the commentary contest. A lot of really good commentators were, you know, entering this, and, you know, it was pretty good overall, man. We had some really big names out there.
Yeah, we really did. And, of course, it was not an easy pick for the winner. But, of course, there can only be one.
There can only be one. And the winner of this contest gets either $100 or a CJ jacket, whichever one he wants. What would you go with, Tasus? I would definitely take that CJ jacket.
I would take all that money and buy as many CJ jackets as I could. But then again, I live in Korea, so it's a lot easier for me to do that.
Well, maybe it's a Hwasong jacket. Sorry about that. But anyways, it is a Pro Gamer jacket. The same thing Jaedong wears or Savior wears. What does it matter? They're both great Zergs. Alright, well, here we go. First place. Well, no, you know what? Let's do this the other way. Second place in the commentary contest.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's right. It is none other than Diggity, a very famous StarCraft YouTube commentator from sc2gg.com. A really great guy. You know, he's commentated a lot of good events out there. And, you know, one of my favorite commentators to listen to.
Yeah, he's a great commentator. Congratulations to you, Diggity. You get the silver medal.
That is right. Good work to you, buddy. And first place, can we have a drum roll, Tasteless?
Oh, you want me to just hit the table here? No.
I like both of them, man.
Alright, go ahead.
Alright, the first place winner is Husky. And Husky, you know, he is a new commentator. He's done a lot for the community, throwing videos up all the time. Carries a little camera around from time to time. Even makes a news show from time to time. I like to call him Artosis Jr. And he has won this contest and $100 or a Hwasong jacket.
Well, there you go, guys. You have it. Do we have anything else to announce, Artosis?
Oh, we have something very important to announce. The OSL Finals trip. So many people signed up for this. And it is pretty awesome, man. The winner of this wins a trip to South Korea for himself and a friend. 5 nights in a high-class hotel. I've been in the nice hotels here, Tasus. They're very nice. And he gets to go to the OSL Finals as well as $1,500 spending money.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That is a huge prize. I know everyone's wiggling right now. They're like, come on, Artosis, say my name. Well, here we go. The winner is none other than Ray1234.
Looks like Ray123 was already taken. Congratulations to you, Ray1234. Because you have won an amazing prize.
You know what? Right now, somewhere over in Europe, there is a kid who his heart is pitter-pattering. He is wiggling, tears in his eyes, because he just won a prize package that's worth around $4,000. And guess what? He might even run into Tasus and Artosis over here.
Well, that would be the greatest gift of all.
Yeah, maybe even better than the prize he won. No, but that is a great prize, a great raffle by PokerStrategy.com. Should be a lot of fun. OSL Finals, For those of you out there who can ever make something like that, go to it because it is exciting on a different level altogether.